Welcome to Building Profitable Relationships, the podcast where we talk with successful entrepreneurs and business owners who have built strong and profitable relationships with their customers, partners, and peers. In our conversations, we explore the heart and science of relationship building in the world of business. Welcome to the Building Profitable Relationships podcast. I'm your host, Yvonne Jones of 50andwisercoaching.com. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Patricia Rogers. Dr. Rogers, I am delighted to have you join me today to share some of your brilliance. Welcome to the podcast.
Woo, give me some energy. I'm happy to be here. Always bringing in the energy.
Awesome. All right. So who better to introduce yourself than you can? Would you go right ahead and introduce yourself, please, and tell us about you and your business? Would love to hear and learn more about you.
Okay, great. Thanks. Thank you so much, first of all, Yvonne, for having me. I'm so excited that I'm on your platform finally. So this is awesome. What I call another achievement, another goal that has been satisfied. So this is awesome. And I am Dr. Patricia Rogers. I'm the CEO of Unity in Service. I am a retired corrections lieutenant with 29 years in law enforcement. And of course, while there, those 29 years, I trained thousands of employees to excel in their careers. I'm a 12-year U.S. veteran of the U.S. Army, and I am a graduate of St. Thomas University. My most recent achievement having been the Honorary Doctor of Humanity Award offered to me by Theophany University in 2021, based on my visibility on social media. So I was being watched. I also discovered my gifts and talents, and I turned them into a business after I retired. Prior to, I prepared, and I have learned, and I've turned my gifts and talents into a business. I've positioned myself since retirement as a visibility strategist. I am a two-time winning international public speaker, and I am an international best-selling co-author, as well as a business coach. And I like to consider myself the #1 virtual event coordinator in my network. And of course, I organize annual virtual events that sets a platform for entrepreneurs like you to speak and sell their products at our online events, as well as educate our attendees. And I have hosted over 35 online events since the pandemic. Prior to that, I was doing live conferences annually. And of course, the pandemic shifted my direction. Mm-hmm. And when I thought it was a curse at first, I must say that it has truly been a blessing. And I'm just excited about the journey that I'm on in my retirement. And more importantly, I'm excited about the number of people that I have served while hosting these online events as well as the live events, because I believe that people need people. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
And a beautiful story it is too. And in my mind, quite frankly, I call you the visibility queen. So, and I think that's so very appropriate, because not only have you sought to be visible and you have succeeded, but you also help others to become visible as well. So that title that you have adopted for yourself is very, very on point, and it's very authentic. So
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, as the visibility queen, in order to get to that status, it means that you would have built a number of relationships along the way, both online and offline. So tell us, please, how do you approach building relationships with potential clients or partners?
Wow. That's a good question. That's a very valid question, because as I said before, people need people. None of us can do anything without relationships. We have to have them, because we would not be able to market our products and services, and we would not have a business if people did not pour into our products and services. And how I have built relationships down through the years as it relates to, even prior to my retirement, I started going out networking. Networking was a big deal, a lot of live networking, and I say that because the pandemic kind of cut a lot of that off. But prior to leaving corporate America, I started networking. I would go to a lot of different networking events that was all in the environment
Mhm.
out in Miami, and I would just go to see what they was doing, the entrepreneurs, because I knew when I left corporate, I wasn't going to be going back to work for anybody. So I had to go do some research. And that's one of the ways I built a lot of, not just met a lot of people, connected with a lot of people, but mainly how I have branded myself, because branding is very essential in building relationships. If we're not, we are a business. So if we're not making ourselves known by networking, and then we, of course, we're going to be leaving money on the table, as well as great relationships. Because whether that person buys your product or not, that person may know somebody else who will buy your product and service. So it's very essential to brand yourself. And I've done a lot of that through networking. Another way I've done it, and that's all networking. It's all about getting up, suiting up, and showing up. And so that's the bottom line, networking. That's the key to our success. And another venture that I had taken on prior to retirement was that I joined Women's Prosperity Network. And that is an organization of women. And now it's women and men. And by joining that organization, when you stick and stay, Bill Walsh is another one. I joined his organization, International Power Team USA. I followed him for a long time. So when you connect with organizations or communities, as we call them,
Mhm.
then what happens is if you stick and stay, people in that organization will get to know you. And as they get to know you, they start to like you. And when they like you, guess what? They're not buying the product because the product that you sell is so good. They're buying that product because they like you. That's a nugget right there. And a lot of people get it twisted. They just pop their stuff on social media and think because they wrote that book that it's, oh my God, everybody's going to buy it because your title to you is dynamic. People buy your books because they have an interest in you. So networking and building alliances, building partnerships is essential. Since I've been in Women's Prosperity Network, I've been there for 8 years now. I joined in and I have been in ever since. And the key for me has been to show up. I show up, I participate, and most importantly, I have invested in the programs that they offer. If it's going to get me closer to my goal, I make that investment in myself. And also, in turn, for all of that, all of the events that I've said, I posted over 30 some odd events online, because I've been in that organization this 8 years that I've been retired. It's not one of those events that I've hosted that someone or several of the women in that organization have not participated or spoke on my stage online event. And as you can see the banner behind me, 1, 2, 3 of them right there on the banner behind me. You're supposed to be on that banner too. 3 of those people behind me are from Women's Prosperity Network. So this is why I say we all have to understand that people need people. And in order for you to be productive, you have to network with people so they will get to know you, like you, and then they will invest in the services that the products that you offer. So
Wow.
that's one way. Yeah. And I also have an affiliate link from them because every event I have, they've spoken in my events, the founders, and every event that I have, of course, I share their link to my affiliation with them. Because if it works for me, it's going to work for some other people. And I want everybody to have what I have. Because if it's working for me, it's going to work for you. And I share that link, and those people will come into that organization. So that right there is definitely a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
One hand has got to wash the other. And like I said, so if we'll give, I call them givers and takers. If we have people who are only looking out to receive for themselves and don't want to pour into other people by investing in the products and services, paying for the memberships and different things of that nature, then of course we get what we get. And then we sit on the sidelines looking at other people wondering, well, why is it that their business is prospering? Well, that's because they're doing the work. They're doing the work. And that is building relationships.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing those nuggets. And what you said something that's so very true. The relationships we build in organizations, because people will buy from you because they're interested in you even more than your product. And that is so true, especially in the online world where there's such a lack of trust, because we can write anything we want to write about ourselves, or we can have people endorse us or say wonderful things, but can they be proven? And people get so disappointed when they invest in something and it doesn't turn out to be what they expected. So I really like what you said. I appreciated what you said about the connections that you build in organizations. They speak for themselves. And so people reach out to you and support you because you in turn are supporting them. So you've spoken very well to even a question I was going to ask you about, to share an example of a particularly successful business relationship you've had and how it has helped you to grow your business. You just did with Women's Prosperity Network. Is there anything else you'd like to share in answer to that question about a particular
I
successful
get
business relationship?
I guess you saw that big smile come on my face when you said that, asked that, when said you was going to ask that question. Yes, Women Prosperity Network has been a huge part of my journey. And I smile because, yes, I have a team, which was never in my, I was not a part of my goal was to build a team, but I have a team of virtual assistants. And it initially started off with me just connecting with one gentleman that he's from India, and he reached out to me and they wanted to do some work with, they wanted to do some work for me. And eventually, of course, I gave them some content to put together so that I could see their work. And when I saw their work, as you can see behind me is their work. That's what I needed on my team. That's what I needed to connect with a partner who knew how to do graphic design, who knew how to take care of my website, who knew how to do videos, because I'm a video queen. I love all of anything that's going to put me out in front of other people. And this team is called Track 2 Digital. And not only that, it didn't just start with him. I found out later after working with him a little bit that he had 4 other people working with him. And since that time, it's been over almost 2 years now. And we'll be getting to even hire more people to the team. And I play a great role in that because as a supervisor in the corporate arena, the 29 years, my talents and my gifts, my skills complements his skills. So certain things I do, I'm responsible for doing as it relates to training, because building relationships is what they will tell you. You got to build those relationships on social media. This is all we got, Yvonne. This is it. Yeah, we're going back out there in the world today, but everybody's not going back out. I'm not going to ever go back and do live because there's still a lot of people right here on social media who don't mind sitting down at a computer and just coming to an event, get up, turn it off, and go on back their merry way. So it's working for us. And so training is essential, but DOS Track 2 Digital team plays a major role, and they have served many of our clients in the events because their prices are good and their spirits are beyond the best that you could ever get. I mean, talking about, just respectful. And this is what we need on this journey, because you said it, Yvonne, trust is out the window. You pay for services, people run and they hide. I've had it happen to me. But this is why we have to know as entrepreneurs how to test the waters of those people. If their services is that good as it relates, I'm just talking about something like social media marketing, things like that, because we do that. And if they're not giving you, they're not willing to give you a test run, I wouldn't invest in them. And that's what we do. Our people that we bring on our team, they know you have 3 months and we're going to train you. If they're not producing, then guess what? You can't just come on the team, or you can't just take people money, is what I tell them. You're not going to take people money and not produce. You got to produce, because if you don't, they're going to let you go just like they hired you. And when that happens, your brand is out there because we are a business. And my brand is out there. Track 2's brand is out there. And so therefore, we want to make sure that we give people what they deserve and more.
And more. Yes, because that's what's going to make us stand out. Those memorable moments we create for people, that's what's going to make us stand out above everybody else who is doing the same thing.
Right.
But I don't know if you have telescopic eyes or something, because you're answering every question that I have here for you. You're answering it before I get to the question. I know you can't see my question, because one of them really was about how they approach building relationship with potential clients, and then how you maintain and strengthen existing building relationships. And you have shared that beautifully, because your business is growing, continuing to grow, because now you have brought in a team. a team who can take away some of the things that you probably might not even like doing so much, or that's not necessary for you to do, so that you can focus on what you're good at. So that's awesome. That is excellent. So at this point, I would ask you, Dr. Rogers, is what advice would you give to small and mid-sized businesses about building relationships?
What information, what tips, strategies that I would like to give to small business owners about building relationships
Mm-hmm. Well,
is that we have to be visible, number one. Even when we hire other people to manage our social media, we have to personally be visible. If nothing else but to go back to those comments, I do my own social media marketing. They help me, but I'm just a guru for that because I believe people need to get to know me. And if I'm not visible, they don't get to know me because I don't believe any social media marketer out there, I don't care how good they are, they don't speak like me. And it's my voice that people need to hear if I want to build that relationship. So a lot of business owners, they will turn over their social medias to people so that they don't have to be on social media. But sometimes you may get people who have questions about your product and services that if you don't go back at least and check those comments, you're leaving money on the table because those people may not know how to check. I'm going in. They may not even be going back checking as many times as they said they was going to check when you hired them. So that's something I watch it. I'm like I cringe, you know. And then I talk to a lot of the events I attend, and I always hear down through the years, I know I need to be on social media more. Well, my response to that is, you're right, because if you're not there, nobody sees you. And so that's definitely one of the ways to build relationships. And as it relates to LinkedIn and Facebook, when people are asking to connect with you, sometimes friend requests are just sitting in the box on LinkedIn, sitting in the little the icon that says network, not just to click the link and let it go. I always click that link, see who it is. I accept if I choose to when I see their title. I accept, and then I go in and I communicate with them. How are you doing? Thank you for connecting with me. Oh, by the way, what inspired you to connect with me? And I put emoji. And I pose a question because I want them to come back to me because I'm connected to thousands of people. So therefore, I'm not going to remember that one person. But if they're that important, if I'm that important to them, for them to connect with me, if I pose that question, they're going to come back to me. And another reason I do that is because a lot of times people want to just build up their numbers on social media platforms. And if they don't come back, I'm good. I'm good because that means they didn't really want nothing in the first place. But I always pose a question, and in the majority of the time, they do come back. And that's why I am able to create and start that conversation with a question. And then from there, we take it. And of course, I end up, a lot of times people try to sell you especially on LinkedIn. And it's okay. They're entrepreneurs. I don't take it personal. And I'm not going to get off LinkedIn because of other people. No, I'm going to respond to their question. Either I need their services or I don't. But by the way, I do have a speaking platform that you can speak on. Entrepreneurs like you, we can get your message out there. I don't need your services, but I may have a group of people that just may when you attend our events or if you choose to speak at our events. So we got to know how to reverse the sale. That's what I call it, reversing the sale.
Mm-hmm.
Don't throw the relationship away. We got to know how to build it. You just said that. This is the main reason we're here. We want to know how to build relationships. So that's just one of the nuggets and one of the key things that I do to build relationships. And I'm very active on social media. Like I said, it doesn't take 20 minutes a day to go look at the notifications to see who's talking to me. Everybody's not talking to you. But somebody's talking to me when those little numbers are on my cell phone on Facebook telling me, hey, you got 50 people over here. They may not be all talking to me, but I got to check that thing out. At least look down to click it and look down at notifications and see, well, who is talking to me? Because it just might be somebody that needs legal shield. It just might be somebody that wants coaching. It just might be somebody that wants to public speak. So where we're dropping the ball at the small business owners is we're not there. And if you're not there, no one sees you. That's my story.
Absolutely. And there's no question about it that at one time when I first started offering social media way back in 2014 or so as a service, as a social media manager, Yes, you could probably get away without being there yourself as the business owner, but no more. You need to be there. And that's what I teach my clients. You have to be there. Even if you have someone posting for you,
Yeah.
you need to be there to interact with people. Like you said, nobody else has your voice, and it has to be your voice for it to be authentic. Somebody can post manually for you, but you need to be able to respond. Thank you so much for sharing those valuable insights. Now, is there anything else before we wrap up today, Dr. Rogers, that you'd like to share? Anything? What events are you coming up? I see a banner there and I see April 29. So you're definitely preparing for an event called Entrepreneurs Living the Dream 2023. Tell us a little bit about that, please. What can we expect?
Well, at this event, what we'll be doing is it's more of a workshop. Basically, when I say a workshop, it's still an online event. Everything is an event. But when we say and entrepreneurs living the dream is our theme for every event, because we do not sometimes people say, well, what should I talk about? That's not my department. Whatever your vision is what you talk about. And entrepreneurs living the dream is our theme from year to year. We just changed the year because we want every entrepreneur who feels that they would like to share their message on our platforms. We want and be more visible, gain more credibility through their public speaking, grasp emails from the email list of attendees for being a speaker at our event, all of those things that we give, create content, they're speaking content, they get a cut and edited version of their speaking presentation to post on their video channel, as well as their website, as well as they can cut it up, have their social media marketers cut it up and just put bits and pieces out there. And this is an evergreen product. So we believe in giving content so that people will walk away with stuff to post, because a lot of times entrepreneurs, well, I don't have anything to post. Well, we help you with that. But this event, we'll be doing training. We're going to be talking about, again, we're going to be talking about confidence. How do you build your confidence? What are some of the tips and strategies to build your confidence? We know a lot of people suffer from that as they, we're also going to have automation. Rita's going to be talking about automation. There's a lot of different systems out there, and she's going to give you a system or two that will give you everything you need in that system, because we spend a lot of money on different things and trying different things. But when we have what we call all-in-one, then of course that not only saves us money, but it saves us time as entrepreneurs. We always share about LinkedIn because LinkedIn is such a huge platform and so many features on it. And we just want, whenever we DOS, he'll be sharing about LinkedIn. And we're going to, the way we're doing this event is hands-on, what we call hands-on. PowerPoint slides, we put them to the side for the most part. And we're pulling up the screens, and we're walking people through the processes. We're opening the door, the opportunity for them to speak, ask questions, because we want them to get the knowledge that we're bringing to the platform. We're also going to talk about SEO systems, SEO, which has to do with how we show up. How are people finding you? Are they finding you? Well, Google knows everything. And we have an expert that's going to be talking about some of those things. And she's going to be sharing and giving you some valuable tips. She's going to actually show you how you can be seen more and heard, and why, and how some people, when you're being found, with like myself and you, I'm sure, we know people are finding us, and that's what we want. When they go to Google, we want them to find us. And this is so we have a lot of tips and strategies about that, as well as another why coaches are so important. So coaches need coaches. So we got quite a few topics lined up. And again, we're going to be actually doing hands-on, not so much PowerPoints, but we're going to actually use the platforms that will show and demonstrate how these processes are carried out. And I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you certainly did. And what it sounds to me is like you are essentially empowering entrepreneurs, allowing them to empower themselves by being visible and being authentically so. So rather than constricting them to particular topics, you're allowing them to show what they're good at, talk about what they're good at. So I
Absolutely.
really applaud you on that. And I just want to thank you so very much. Now, before we wrap up finally, where can we find your business online, Dr. Rogers?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question, because yes, I meant to say that when I was talking a minute ago. So thank you so much for reeling me back in. I would like for everyone to go to patriciarogers360.com, Patricia Rogers 360.com, or you can do patrogers360.com. Yeah, I own both of those domains because I am who I am. And if they go to 360.com, Patricia Rogers 360.com, they can check on me, connect with me on all of my social media platforms are right there, YouTube, all of those. And then they can also schedule on the calendar. And if they would like to know more about the speaking opportunity that we offer, then they can meet with me one-on-one, and I will certainly walk them through all of the details, and so that we can get them. We have two other events coming up. We have April, July, and we have October. So it's still time to get in and have their voices heard. Connect with me, tap into my network, because people need people. And I don't hoard people. I give them away because we all need each other to survive. So that's how they
Absolutely.
can reach me. And they'll also be able to see the link to the event on the event icon. That link to the event will be there after today. We're putting this event together, and we're still waiting on your information, Yvonne, just so you know. I'll reach back out to you.
Now, I'm going to have to cut that out of the podcast. I'm going to have to cut that out.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, you can
It's
cut that out.
okay.
Okay,
It's
but at any
okay.
rate, well,
No,
thank
we're
you so
just
much.
joking about this. Yes, yes,
So
yes.
that's how they can get in touch with me. And again, yes, I would love to have them reach out to me, and we would love to have everyone who has a message and have a product or service to come and join us as we follow the vision that God has given to us.
Excellent. And as someone who has attended your events, it's well worth every moment that you spend there. Um,
Oh,
so I encourage everyone who is listening to this, do check out Dr. Rogers' profile at Patricia Rogers or patrogers360.com and learn more about this upcoming event in April. And if you can't make April, there are other events that you can learn about there as well. So, Dr. Rogers, thank you so much for being with me today. This has been fun. This has been educational. And I'm sure that everyone will be taking away some nuggets from the information you shared today. Thank you so much and have a fabulous rest of your day.
awesome. Thank you. Bye bye.